One of the most popular topics that I talk about is setting boundaries. And it's a topic that comes up a lot with my coaching clients. It's also one of my favorite topics because it's one that has made the most profound impact in my own life. Mostly because there were so many years, decades, where I didn't set boundaries. I didn't know how. I didn't even know what that meant. And so what I want to share with you today is a misconception about setting boundaries that I hear a lot. And that is that boundaries are about telling other people what they should do or what you expect of them. And indeed, they're not, for one really simple, easy reason. We can't control what someone else does or says. We can only control what we do or say. And so it's essential when you set boundaries to talk about them from the perspective of what you are going to do, not what you expect the other person to do. Let me give you two examples, a professional and a personal example. I was working with a manager, and she was talking about how frustrated she was that she set a boundary and an expectation that people are not late to her meetings. And she was so angry because she said people kept coming late, and then she was having to waste time going back to cover the materials that she went over, that she covered in the first 10 minutes. She had to repeat herself, and it made the meetings really inefficient. And it also punished the people who were there on time. And so as we worked through this, she came to the realization that she needed to reset her boundary and be really clear also in communicating it. And so she went back and said, I will be starting the meetings on time. And if you are late, you'll be expected to find somebody to share with you what you missed and get the material that you weren't here for. And she let go of her anger and her frustration and her resentment, and she went about starting the meetings on time. And what's interesting over the period of a couple of months is that people started to show up on time because they realized they weren't going to be coddled or enabled or be able to say, hey, what I missed that. What was it that you guys talked about? Second example I want to give is a personal example where I was working with another client who said, God, I get home, I'm going all day. He was in sales. And I just need it to be quiet when I get home. And so I told my family, the TV is blaring and they're making dinner and they're doing homework and it's just chaos. And I told them I needed to be quiet when I get home, and I'm frustrated that they aren't. So he articulated, and this is all about building your core, right? Pause, think, act. So he had to pause for a minute and think about what is it that he really wanted. He wanted to have some downtime to be able to transition from crazy, stressful work to being at home. And so then he acted with that new awareness, and he told his family, when I get home, I need to take 15 minutes of downtime, of silence. I might go up into the bedroom, I might go in the basement, I might go out on the porch, but I just need 15 minutes where I'm going to unplug and chill out. And then you guys can just pretend I'm not even home yet. Do whatever you're doing. And then I will be able to re-engage. And his joy went up because instead of being frustrated with what they weren't doing, he could just focus on what he needed to do. So I want to encourage you for your weekly workout to set boundaries, to get really clear on what is it that you are going to do or not do, and then communicate it to everybody else and watch how your success improves. And feel free to share if you have some examples of boundaries that you've set that have been effective, or even examples where you've learned the hard way. Would love to hear from you. Thanks everybody. I'm Darcy Loma. Happy Thoughtfully Fit Thursday.